October 17th, 2024. Today was a wild ride, and I broke one of my rules where I should have walked away because I made more than $50. That's my minimum. If I could make more than 50, just walk away, right? Come back for the PM session. But that I did not listen to. I figured I was filming, I should do more trades, and well, it backfired. So, anyways, doing the morning routine again, finding previous highs, lows, going from daily to the 4 hour, checking both the S&P 500 as well as the Nasdaq. Looks like we went above the pivot point and back down, went above that high, went back down. Nasdaq never made it to the pivot point, never cleared that high, so I'm thinking, okay, ES did a liquidity sweep. Nasdaq is just carrying the trend downward, right? So pretty bearish on the day for me, even though it had that giant candle already. I wasn't getting kind of fooled into going long quite yet. My initial bias was to short the market, so just doing my markups, got that 15-minute opening range block marked off. All right, let's see what the dollar's doing. Now the dollar is going down, but kind of looks like it's exactly where I'm drawing. Just going into that fair value gap. Still looks bullish, right? There's no flip yet for me to believe that is going to go down, right? And if you look at the bottom, S&P, Nasdaq, and the Dow Jones is kind of still chopping around, but in an uptrend above the EMA. But anyways, let's go look at the leaders, or what I call the big movers of those markets. Now, although these are in each other's, like in Nasdaq, but Apple, new day opening gap, still drawn across. We're still playing with that gap. Over in Nvidia, it made a new gap, but to the upside. So for me, that kind of gave me mixed signals, right? Of, well, maybe this is just a pullback, right? Maybe we are gonna start kind of chopping around and going longer. But then looking on the smooth HA candles, it's still showing red, and it's still looking like we're gonna drop down lower, right? So that's when I decided to just hop in a market order, take a sell, get everything lined up, and it was a pretty quick trade. Nothing too long and nothing too worrying. Everything's still looking good to go lower, which we did. If you just give it time, patience, boom. And then I'm like, okay, let's go to break even. We're green on the week, so let's just be aggressive on this trade, right? And then boom, we got tapped out. So quick $60, right? Great. I should have walked away from the charts because I could just make that money again in the PM session and go over $100, which is kind of my roughly daily goal, right? But I'm like, well, we got stopped out too fast, right? So I'm reassessing, looking, look, we made a double bottom right there, and we never cleared the London low, so I think we're still going to go down and, just carry on down. So that's when I start thinking, well, maybe I should just re-enter. And then if it pulls back, it's still a bearish bias, right? Like, there's no reason not to enter. Like, if I just showed up on the charts right now, that's what I would do. Wait for the pullback. Everything's showing bearish signs still. Look, dollar's going up. Nvidia was finally dropping, and I'm like, okay. And Nasdaq is now below that 15-minute opening range, right? So instead of waiting for a pullback into that fair value gap, I get in this market order literally at the bottom. Like, I timed the bottom perfectly, because all that happens now is it just pulls back straight into my stop, right? So now I'm down on the day because, one, So if I were to still take this trade, right, and right here it gave me hope. It kind of messed with my. I was like, oh, hit the fair value gap. Finally, we're gonna continue on down, right? But anyways, if I listen to two rules, one was if I'm up $50, just take the money and leave, right? It's better than a red day. Two, if I do take a winning trade, I need to downsize so we don't potentially risk losing that, which exactly what happened. I should have been in 3 contracts instead of 5 there. And well, now we're red. And I'm telling you right there, this is a perfect example. So now I'm thinking, okay, we got this trend line. Let's just watch now because I was up. I was feeling good, right? But now I'm in the red. So it doesn't feel good, right? And then that's when I got the emotions flowing. And I was like, all right, well, should have been off the charts by now, but I'm just gonna stick it out. We're gonna ride it till 11 a.m. on the chart, which is 8 a.m. my time. So I'm like, okay, let's just be patient and find another setup, right? And then price started doing this, and I'm like, great. So now what I wanted to happen is happening after my stop got ran, and if I waited for a pullback into that fair value gap, would have been all good, right? My stop would have been higher. We would have been good. So 5 minute, we're below, looks good. On the left, the 1 minute, we haven't flipped yet. We're still on green, but it's showing signs of flipping. So that's why I got in this trade. And I'm not going to lie, if it didn't scare me a few times, going straight to my stop. So I was like, all right, we are going to aggressively scale out of this trade. So we just take all the risk off. I don't want 2 big losses if we're going to lose back to back. So let's just put a row of our partials and take profit. Now, of course, the trade that should have been a normal, 2 or 3 and then 2, I would have made some good money on this trade, right? But instead, emotions got in. I started playing aggressive with it, and boom, got tapped out. But look, we're slightly down on the day. That, I think we made like $20 on that trade. Nothing crazy. Again, emotions. I'm not sticking to the plan. I stayed on the chart, made a mistake. Instead of just leaving, I wanted to fight it. I was revenge trading, but luckily I was kind of smart in my revenge trading. I mean, kinda, because could have got lost out. So now we're doing 3, which I should have been doing, right? And same thing. I'm gonna scale out of this aggressive. I just want to get profits and get out. So everything's looking good. I did put that stop a little too low. It should have been up just a tad higher because it was at the 50% of that up close candle. I wanted it to be a little higher than that usually. But again, not thinking straight. Emotions are coming in. But still bearish. Everything's still looking bearish. We need NASDAQ to clear that low now, and then ES as well. And this trade is pretty good. Just, it's going to scare me for a little bit. Like, are we going to pull around right here and just go backwards? So I'm like, all right, let's just go to break even. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm out. But now I didn't film the last trade I did because it does go below that low. I didn't film it. I literally was shutting down, stopped the video. I was about to get off the charts, and I'm like, you know what? I see this is a setup I would take. So got in, got out quick. I just scalped it. I didn't do my normal stop loss and take profit that I normally would. I did a quick one, tighter stop, just trying to get money. And if I do lose, as small as possible on my loss, right? So right here, it shows that I'm negative 27.50, and I believe that's the next scalp I did. I think it went down to $9 or something. So basically break even, and that left me feeling good going to the PM. Like we're basically at zero. I could think straight, trade right. But yeah, lesson learned. You have rules for a reason, and don't break them because you think it's something. Today's a special day or something, right? I should have just walked away after that first win. Would have been up $60 going into the PM session, but wasn't the case. Had to, one, I had to pay a lot of commissions on all those trades, right? So wasn't the best. I paid a lot of commissions today. I think like $30 in commissions for all the trades. So that ate away from my profits. Just overall, it just good trades eventually, but nothing, nothing textbook today, right? I'm lucky to get out with basically break even after the way I was trading, right? Just was not going well. So this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. We might pull back a little higher and then go down, or maybe that was already the pullback. So still bearish on the day. Apple's moving up, but very tightly grinding up. So it may fall off a cliff, right? Nvidia, same thing. It's consolidating. And if you look to the left where that last gap was, it consolidated and then it just dropped off. So even though it is moving up, kind of gives me a little good feeling that it could fall off. There's a chance of that. So right now I am seeing that everything's kind of going up. All the indicators are showing up. So I'm like, okay, maybe we get a deeper pullback, and that's all it is, right? So what do I see here? I see that fair value gap, pivot point. We are above it, but Nasdaq's about to get to theirs. So I'm thinking, okay, if Nasdaq could reject that pivot point, that's a sign that ES could be turning around as well once we get to that fair value gap, or potentially the pivot point that was there. So at this point, it's a waiting game. I am already talking to myself, just like, don't do what you did in the morning. Be patient and just play your setup, right? Do your normal trades that you usually do and what you look for. Everything's looking good, right? So another thing I'm looking at as well is look at the volume. It's curling down. It just slowly went to lower, lower, lower. We need some volume to come back in if we want some moving to do, right? Unless it's just a random stop hunt and it just, runs real quick. So smoothing, the HA smoothing candles, we flipped red. So that's also another sign right here on the 2-minute chart under the 21 EMA on both S&P and NASDAQ. So it's time, right? Like there's no different. Like I'm not going to wait for anything else, right? There's the setup. So we're in, click the button. And this trade was honestly amazing. I'm not even fast forwarding right now. So this move is all live time for this trade. It was that short that we don't even need to speed it up. So I think right there, I'm just moving it. I'm like, all right, let's just put it at the pivot point, get most of this trade off in a pretty safe area where even if it was going to continue higher, it would drop to, hopefully. Chances are higher, right? And then we'll put that last one down there right above that little block, those 3 down close candles that formed on the 21 EMA to the left. Just right at the top of that, put that last one. And well, we fell off a cliff. It ran, and this move actually went pretty far, if I remember. It went 20 points within like 3 minutes, because I think the next candle it went up. But yeah, like what a move, right? So I'm finally green on the day, paid off the commissions, paid off the loss, and we're up. So before we started this session, I was down $18, and then we ended up, I believe, 41.25. So Look, if I just listened to my rules this morning, took that first trade, would have been up 60 bucks, walked away, came back to the PM, took this setup. I think this trade was about $60 as well, somewhere right around there. Probably a little more because I had to pay the commissions on the trade too. But anyways, you know, it would have been a great day. Would have been up 120 in the PA account where the money matters. And then the challenge would have been right around double that. Would have been 240. Would have been a great day. But nonetheless, in the green. Hope this has helped you out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click that thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.